Guys, this is a very cool helicopter. I'm just gonna talk about this one because it's cool because I can crash it and I can, keep crashing it and flying. I'm not saying you can't do this with any other ones. I'm just talking about this one right now, but it is a good one. I crashed it twice in my previous a video, and first crash was the bush's fault, not mine. It got in my way, and the second crash, well, I kind of want to explain that a little bit. I hit hold because I wasn't used to the flight characteristics on this helicopter. It's just been a while since I've been flying, so I haven't been flying, so it's a little difficult to jump right back in. And being so that I mostly fly Spectrum and the 6250 that comes on the Blade helicopters is much different than what you'll find on the OMP, Goose Sky, or any other fly wireless unit that's not Spectrum. They fly a little different. In my opinion, is it better? It depends. I mean, if you're used to the Spectrum one, this is gonna feel different to you. If you're flying nothing but this, the Spectrum one will feel different to you. To me, it's just preference, and it depends what kind of flying style you're going after. So with me, yesterday, my second crash, I was trying to pull up from a maneuver that I was kind of diving down, but I was inverted, I believe, and I felt like I didn't have response. My helicopter wasn't responding to my collective uh, command inputs from my radio. The reason being is because these helicopters already have what's called deadband. Deadband is and it's pretty much just it's kind of like Expo, but see, Expo is something you program into your radio. Deadband you'll program into the fly wireless unit so that it won't, so you'll have a dead space in the fly wireless controller in reference to your radio controls. So whatever outputs you input into the fly wireless unit, it won't receive, or it won't react to, until you reach the point where your deadband is not set. The higher the deadband, the more you can move the stick off center and no response at the servos. So the helicopter won't respond to any stick movement until you reach the point of control. So that's just pretty much what it is. See, now with what do you call that? What is that thing called? The Expo. With Expo, you'll have an immediate change. So you'll set your Expo in your radio. You might have 25 across the board, and if you have 25% Expo, well, that's 25% that it'll soften up and it'll curve your value, but the value is still there. You're still seeing it's still giving out outputs to the transmitting a signal to the fly wireless unit. It's just getting feathered out. It's just a softer, mushier feeling. It's not too fast, it's not too slow, but you're still getting some response. With deadband, you get zero response until you reach a stick position where the fly wireless unit and the radio transmits a signal to the fly wireless unit. The fly wireless unit sees a signal, but it won't react to the signal until you reach a certain percentage on the sticks. That makes sense. So I can be 10%, moving my sticks 10% left, right. You had deadband, it won't do anything until you go past 10%. If we go based off 100% value, if you have 50% deadband in the fly wireless unit and you move the sticks 50% all around, up, down, left, right, doesn't matter, the receiver will not respond to your outputs, to your commands on the radio until it sees anything over 50%. So that's deadband, which is cool because when you're doing TikToks and whatnot, the helicopter, if you're flying like me, you're flying thumbs, um, you're moving your stick. You tend to not move your stick up and down. You kind of move it sideways because your thumb doesn't. You only have two joints. I mean, they can't really move straight up and down while holding the radio. It's gonna move at an arc, so it'll kind of just swing. So that's why you have deadband. And for the most part, 25% of deadband, 15%. I mean, that's enough so that you don't move that stick and affect your aileron controls, and that way your helicopter, while you're doing TikToks, stays nice and straight up and down, which is cool. I like that, but I'm not used to it. Spectrum has just released an update for their 6250, of course, where you can also now apply deadband to other helicopters. And I believe that's only for the open stock 6250. So in that what that means is it'll fly pretty much the same as this one. The more deadband, of course, the more locked in feel it will give you. It doesn't mean it's locking in the helicopter. It's just locking you out from giving unwanted transmitted signals to the helicopter. Like if it just gives you a more filtered feeling. But anyways, I was trying to pull up from this maneuver and the deadband. I'm not sure if it affects the collective. I think it would, but I don't. I honestly don't see how. But whatever the case may be, I was trying to pull back up, and I just felt like it was way too delayed, so I crashed. And I just, before I hit the ground at full speed, I rather just hit hold. My helicopter went from a weird position to an upright position, and it kind of just fell upright like this and tossed on its side. So not a big deal. I bent the main shaft just a very little bit, and then I went ahead and charged my battery up again after I ended the video, and I flew again just to kind of get a feel for it again and test the crashability. So I flew it, went into stunt 2, started flying around like a maniac, like a dragonfly, and I crashed. But this time I didn't crash. It was a pretty bad crash. I hit hold, but I was inverted closer to the ground, and I was moving pretty fast forward. And I dug the head in to the ground, which was dirt. Nothing happened to the head. The feathering shaft is straight, but since I hit hold, it was still moving forward pretty quick, so I guess that main shaft bent, and it kind of crashed like this, sideways. So I tend to bend the main shaft, but the blades were pretty much slowing down, so I don't think that's probably the reason why the main shaft survived. But after 4 crashes, I mean, these shafts are made of good materials. I mean, good hardened steel. I did bend my canopy post, which is something I'm realizing after the crash, after a good inspection. I can bend that back. But the thing about aluminum is you can only bend it so much until it cracks. So it's a good thing I flew without a canopy. The main motor and the tail motor survived. No scratches, no bends. The tail fin and the tail motor blade are okay. No blade strikes because I run a tighter blade grip. That way my blades don't fold in on themselves. And yeah, my motor's free of scratches. And I want to show you quickly how I replaced my main shaft, because this is mainly why I'm doing the video. So I'm going to just show you real quick. I'm just going to tell you what to do because it's kind of hard to do it with the tools in my hand and the camera in my hand. So I have my setup. All I need to do is remove this set screw, back it out, back out the collar screw, and pull out that Jesus bolt, main head bolt. That's 3 bolts, 3 screws. If you have the original setup DFC head, you want to back up that lower screw at the bottom of the motor. Do that before you take out the set screw on the motor, that way it doesn't spin on you. So once you do all that, you don't have to take apart the entire head on this one. This is why I like this helicopter. It's pretty cool, very neat, very similar to the Goose Sky S2. But like I said, with this helicopter, you can take it all off from the top. Some of the newer ones, they have the option where you can pull the main shaft through the bottom, and it's going to be the same thing. So just pull the head up after you take off the bolt. You pull it up, move it to the side. You can do that, right? Oh shoot, I'm moving a lot. So you move it to the side, and then you reach in for your shaft, pull it straight out, And that's it. Drop your new shaft in here, because this is a new shaft. Straight through your collar. Push it all the way down till it drops into the motor. You'll feel it. And then you put your shaft, your main head block back on, your head. And then put your screw through it. And then tighten all the, you would tighten first I would remove the set screw, see the hole, tighten your set screw, tighten the collar, and then tighten your main head. And then you're done. You got a fresh shaft in there, straight. And then I would work on the feathering shaft afterwards. That way you have less parts rolling around, and it's a much neater fix. So that's what I do, and honestly, it's easy to fix, easy to get back up. Very durable. The blade grips did not bend. Nothing bends on this. Everything's pretty solid, and of course, cheap. Very cheap. Crazy cool little helicopter. Just get one. It's cool. It's the way to go, and it's one of the good options out there for your money. Thank you for watching.